NFL 23 on EA Sports. And we'll see Michael Thomas. He's coming off a game where he had the hot hands, over 160 yards receiving. It's the Saints and the Raiders, just ahead on EA Sports.
We are down on the bayou as you get a look inside the Caesars Superdome here in New Orleans. Today we've got a Week 8 matchup on tap here between the Las Vegas Raiders and the New Orleans Saints. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Saints team as they interplay. They come in losers of 2 straight, so they're trying to right the ship here a little bit.
They're teetering a little bit, aren't they? And now things could really go south if they lose this game, so they understand the importance of playing well and stopping this streak.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Raiders, we're in October now, so everybody should be coming into form, shouldn't they?
They really should, and what you have now is a full routine established about what you want to get done and full focus on the season.
Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. Taking it about the 1. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. And as the Raiders take over on offense, we get to see the man who has been the leader of this team for 9 seasons now, under center Derek Carr.
In the midst of a tumultuous 2021 season, the Las Vegas Raiders really turned to their quarterback, Derek Carr, to not only drive their offense, leading to career-high totals from the 8th-year passer and a nearly 5,000-yard season throwing the football, but also his leadership ability. He really grabbed that team and led them to the playoffs for the 2nd time in his career while coming out in one of the toughest divisions in football.
Carr going to throw right away. Catch made. It's Moreau. 4 yards the result on the first play from scrimmage. 2nd down. First carry for Josh Jacobs. And he'll lose yardage here. Going down back at the 28. An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. To throw his Carr. Oh, he catches it off the tip. It wasn't even intended for him. And he is going to have the Raiders first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. The Raiders at 2-4 here in the first half of the year. And they come in losers of 2 straight, so trying to turn things around here.
And you just mentioned 2 straight, and when you're talking about 2 games, that's nothing to panic about. They feel like they've been a little bit unlucky in the last couple. This is a club that's more than capable of turning things around, and I expect them to play really well here.
Carr now on first down. Delivering another one here to Darren Waller. He's got it again. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. 10 more for him on that one. He's been a busy man. It's a first down. Throwing now is Carr. Complete. It's Johnson. And he's got room. Touchdown. Tyron Johnson. His first touchdown on the year. And the Raiders will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Well, we know that he can beat you in a number of ways. He can catch it short, he can take it long, or he can do what we just saw right there, catch it and then run with the football.
And that should serve as a big warning to this defense. They know now that they have to stick close to these receivers because they have the ability to break games wide open after the catch. And that one wound up in the end zone.
And the next-gen stats show us the tale of how much yardage he was able to tack on after the catch. Now for the extra point, Daniel Carlson. And that makes it 7-zip Vegas. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it winds up in 6 points for the Raiders. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is taken just shy of the 10. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And here come the Saints about to begin their first possession. And the man in charge of this offense, his 8th season now in the NFL, former #1 pick, Jameis Winston.
It was terrible to see Jameis Winston suffer his torn ACL last season because he had the Saints rolling in his first year running the show in New Orleans. They went 5-2 in his starts, and they were just 4-6 after he was injured. And how about this? He only threw 3 interceptions, really addressing the big concern people had from his time as a starter in Tampa. New Orleans, they plan to roll with him for a second season and hope that last year's performance will carry over in a full season.
Winston and the Saints now with a 1st and 10 at their own 26. They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And he works his way forward to pick up 4 yards there. 2nd down. The numbers there for Kamara from a week ago. 13 carries, 113 yards, and a score.
Just an excellent performance from them on the ground last week, and that speaks to an offense that is operating at a high level on all fronts. Of course, that man running the ball, he should...
And the pressure gets there, and Winston goes down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. Well, they sent him on the blitz from that linebacker spot, and boy, he got there quickly.
He certainly did, and obviously he could have used a block from his running back, but I think you nailed it right there. The defender got into the backfield so fast, it was hard for anyone to react.
So now after the sack, Winston and the Saints needing to figure out what to do. Tough play, 3rd and long. Open man is Michael Thomas. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Winston to give. It's Kamara. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. From the shotgun, it's Winston. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done. So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. From the red zone now, Winston. That pass is caught by Hardy. Touchdown, Saints. Deontay Hardy. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Saints respond to that opening drive touchdown with one of their own. A nice connection there, finding his target, and that'll put 6 up on the board.
Just like they drew it up in their playbook and reiterated on the sidelines, right? Perfect route, a good throw, and the defense, they have no answer for that right there.
Will Lutz on for the point after. It's up and good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the first quarter, and we're tied 7-7. That drive goes 80 yards in 6 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for New Orleans. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. Amir Abdullah going to take it out of the end zone. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. 2nd drive of the game coming up for this Las Vegas offense. And the football changing hands here as this offense takes the field. Charles, they'd be fine with more of the same on this upcoming drive. Last time out, they found the end zone for 6.
And they're certainly hoping for more of the same, but the game plan, I doubt it'll just be a carbon copy of the last drive, because I think this offense is ready to break out some new wrinkles and try some new things that might be hidden in their playbook. They want to use that confidence to its advantage, but also keep the defense from anticipating what's up next.
Throwing his car on 3rd down. Catch is made by Hunter Renfrow. And he is going to have the Raiders' 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Someone sharp in this game. I mean, a touchdown pass on the 1st drive, and comes right back, and he's flinging it around really well here.
Really nice throw there to pick up the... And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble. And this is picked up by the Saints. And he's into the end zone. A fumble return. And a Saint touchdown. And Charles, look at the big fella. What a rumble that was. Not And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Vegas offense ready for their next possession. Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 26. He'll give it to Jacobs to start the drive. A check on Jacobs from a week ago. 11 carries, 59 yards.
I can't remember the last time we did a game and a coach didn't talk about establishing the run first. But they've lost 2 straight games, so they still want to do that, but they've got to have some contingencies, some other options. Expect them maybe to throw it a little bit to open up things and maybe run it a little bit more later in the game.
And this is going to be a Raiders first down as the tackle made here at the 36. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Here's Carr to throw. Quickly a slant to Renfro. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39. On play action, now Carr. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Carr now to throw. And that is incomplete.
And there's a good opportunity to just run a ride there, a drop pass. I guess that's why they call them running backs and not catching backs.
This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And this one goes angling out of bounds, and it will be spotted inside the 30-yard line. New Orleans Saints, they get ready to set up shop for their 2nd drive. For this offense, Charles, remember the last time they were out here, marched it nearly the full length of the football field, and a lot of the attack went through the air, so they're seeing if they can duplicate that performance.
Okay, if I show my age a little bit, partner, because I can hear my high school coach, John Ford. I can hear his voice in my head. Laddie, when you put the ball in the air, 3 things can happen, and 2 of them are bad. But the way the game's being played now, this is just part of what they do, so I don't think they should change anything at all. They've been dominant. Keep throwing it around.
Another first down, this time on a gain of 19. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time when you do it consistently.
Ready for the 2nd quarter from New Orleans. It's the Saints in possession. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Staying on the ground on 1st with Kamara. Stops short of the 25. The nice move couldn't ultimately free him. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. On play action, Winston. They'll roll him out right. This one complete to Ingram. And he's brought down here just outside of the 20. Winston now to throw on 1st down. He gets it to Thomas. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot. Back to the ground, it's Kamara. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. Give him 2 yards. That sets him up 1st and goal. Trying to pound it in, Kamara. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7. 2 of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. Touchdown! Deontay Hardy. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Saints go up by 2 touchdowns. Only the 2 catches for him thus far, CD, but both of them have resulted in touchdowns.
And I think he's on the bench right now, Greg, and smiling at his position coach and telling him, all those times you talked this about efficiency, I'm living it right now.
Looks for the extra point, and it's now 21-7. So that drive with 2 red plays, and it all culminates in the Saints touchdown. Here's Abdullah from his And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. Some more great football coming your way in prime time to wrap up the month of October. It starts tonight. Could it be a Super Bowl preview? The Packers and Bills from Buffalo at 8:20 Eastern. And then tomorrow, Halloween night, Monday Night Football, the Bengals and Browns from Cleveland. And how this game has changed in importance in recent years. That starts at 8:15 Eastern. Carr going to give it to Jacobs. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. Check that up as a 4-yard loss. And now it's third down. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Carr with a play fake to Jacobs. Steps away. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up fourth. On fourth down, A.J. Cole comes on to punt. Here's Hardy set to return. Flashes another juke. It'll be a 44-yard punt. The return goes for 8. And the Saints will take over with a first down and 10. A look at Jameis Winston now as he gears up to lead this offense again. And the numbers for the last drive, and he was perfect, which maybe isn't surprising because he has not missed a pass in this game yet.
And it lets you know just how precise things have to be for a quarterback to be perfect, because that means the line's blocking really well, no one's dropping any of the passes thrown to them, and the quarterback is accurate. It's almost like a pitcher throwing a no-hitter or a perfect game, isn't it? He's the principal guy, but he needs a lot of help.
Time to find out if he can keep that perfect game going here, partner. And they're going to get this up to midfield. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
And he's going to be marked down just inside the 35. From the 34 now, here's first and 10. Now Winston. And that's going to be incomplete.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try to pick up another first down.
And he's brought down here just outside of the 20.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. Jameis to throw it. It's hauled in by Hardy. And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. So it's 3rd and 6, and this will be the 8th play of the drive. Winston now. And it's caught. And so close, he gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. They'll run it with Kamara. And he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. Back to the ground, this time with Ingram. And he is going to lose yardage here. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And now can they reverse the trend on 3rd and goal with the last 2 plays having gone backwards? They'll look to run with Ingram. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. Now a 2nd timeout called for by the defense as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The kick by Lutz is good, but now there is a penalty marker on the field, so let's see what this is about. And they'll accept that penalty. So now then, the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. Kamara up the middle, and he takes it across and into the end zone. Touchdown, Saints. Alvin Kamara, his 3rd rushing touchdown of the year, and the Saints take a 3-touchdown lead.
Well, Brandon, he just followed his nose, and his nose took him to the end zone. But how about the big guys up front, giving him at least a stalemate in order to find that space?
Yeah, the O-line won the battle in the trenches there, didn't it? Alonso looked at the extra point. He knocks it through. It's 28-7. So that drive, 12 plays in length. And the capper came from Alvin Kamara on the touchdown run. After the touchdown, wants to kick it off. Here's Abdullah from his end zone. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. Las Vegas' offense back out there ready to go. Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
And not much happening there. He's taken down, but a late penalty flag in the backfield. This looks like a roughing call. Okay, so the personal foul penalty, and those are some important yards lost right there.
Yeah, it all comes down to discipline, doesn't it? And every team tells us that they coach it, they preach it.
Trying to get that to Adams, but that's intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And the Saints are going to have it here at their own 32-yard line. Well, we've seen a lot of mistakes here in this first half, and another there on the interception.
Yeah, they're certainly starting to pile up, aren't they? Because, let's face it, we expect a miscue here and there, but they're already down 3 scores and still giving the ball away. If they want to get back into this one, they've got to take care of the ball because right now the whip. Doesn't say a whole lot for their chances.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Following the interception, Winston. Out of the backfield, that's complete to Kamara. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. 6 yards left on 2nd down. Throwing, Winston. Complete over the middle to Hardy. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. 1st down, Winston. To the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. To throw again on 2nd down. Winston, and he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Duron Harmon. And the Raiders will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line. So really the first speed bump that this offense has encountered, they'd had the rule of the roost here in this first half, but now slowed up just a bit by the interception.
And there's a chance that that's a wake-up call for them because you don't want to go on autopilot too early. That team on defense is capable of making some plays similar to the one they made right there.
A good starting spot for the Raiders as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 43. Now after the INT, it's Carr. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down. Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Jacobs. Now the Raiders going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
Play action. Now it's Carr. And this is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. Davante Adams. He has career touchdown number 78, tying in with both Eddie George and Frank Gifford on the all-time list. And the Raiders are able to cut into this lead in the final seconds of the first half. And most people think of Derek Carr kind of as a guy who excels throwing the short pass, but he can dial it up when need be.
And as that ball was hanging in the air with the receiver streaking downfield to meet it, here in the stadium, you could just sense the crowd thinking, oh, no. And their worst fears were realized as that one turned into a long touchdown.
Yeah, and the next-gen stats showing that at an even 57 yards through the air. So time enough for a kickoff here. 5 seconds remaining in this first half. From the 10. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. 1 second, all that remains. And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. So it's halftime here in New Orleans with the Saints out in front. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Brandon, good work in that first half. More from you guys in a minute. But first, let's get to some scores right here on the day before Halloween. We'll begin up at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. And that one at the half with the score line of 21-10. Kyler Murray, 3 first-half touchdown passes. From there, we head over to MetLife Stadium to check in on the Jets. In that game, all tied with the visiting Patriots. On now to a check on the next-gen stats for the Raiders in that first half. And they've definitely been able to exploit some holes in that opposing secondary, as they threw for close to 200 yards in those first 2 quarters. Meanwhile, for the Saints, they too were able to take advantage of a soft secondary, as both of these 2 teams really threw the ball at will in that first half. Both teams going through their final halftime adjustments. We're about ready to get back to football. And to bring you the second half from the Superdome, let's go back to Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Fine work as always as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. Set now to go for the third quarter. The Saints have the lead and set to receive the kick. And no run back here as the third quarter will commence with a touchback. So here are the Saints to take over. They lost 2 straight coming in, but good news for them right now. They've got the lead and the football. Winston and the Saints now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. He'll start with a give to Kamara. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. Really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. And the Raiders call on a nickel set for 3rd down. Here's Winston. Looking for the out route. It's completed to Landry. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
That's good for the Saints.
To throw, Winston. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. That one good for 16 as the drive continues. They'll pound it up the middle with Kamara. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And he gets it down to the 32. 2 yards, good enough for a first. Winston. They'll get this out to Kamara. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30.
Brandon, you know this is going to be discussed because this is the fear of all the backs when they run this type of a route. They've got to find the football, and sometimes they don't see the defender. And in this case, he took a pretty good shot for his efforts, but give him credit, able to hold on to the football.
And he's got him. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. 3 touchdown passes now to ball the game for Jameis Winston as his guys were able to push that lead out a bit further.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical, that's one of the words you've taught me, and they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
Lutz good on the extra point. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns and 21. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And it was Chris Olave who finished things off with a touchdown. This fielded right at the goal line. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. So here comes the Raiders offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 27. On the ground, it's Jacobs to start the drive. And he'll get this up just shy of the 30.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
He works his way forward for a couple up past the 30. That ground game contained again there, Charles, and that's really a big reason that they're trailing right now.
They give a lot of credit to that defensive front. That's exactly what they worked for all week, to try and take away the run game, make them one-dimensional. In the battle of game plans, theirs has been superior.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete. And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Following the punt return here, there's someone shaken up. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. They're continuing to rock and roll, and at intermission, you know, maybe sometimes you fear after such a good first half of a letdown, but that wasn't the case.
And what I remember most about being in those situations is exactly what you're talking about. You almost have that sense of satisfaction. You're like, we're doing really well. I remember one time someone saying, Winning's fun, but so is playing really well. Why would we want to do otherwise? That was the message, to keep the intensity up, to keep things going. And that's exactly what we're seeing here from this team.
That's helped them extend their lead. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. A man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Kamara again. 72 yards for him on the ground now, as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here, because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
And a good push up front, and he's able to navigate his way down inside the 30. The Saints first down there on a gain of 11. Well, for Alvin Kamara, that speed-size combo, just about exactly what you want for a running back, and he uses that size, that strength. And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And the Raiders pick it up. Does the big boy have the juice? He's at the 30. Past the 20. And they will finally stop him, but a great return. Gets that football all the way down to the 16-yard line. So the turnover forced, and a wonderful job on a big return.
And how about the convoy that got created to help him get all the way back upfield? I mean, that's the part that people miss on. That's practice. That's worked on. It doesn't just happen in a game and everyone rallies. They discuss it prior to, and everyone knows their role when they create a turnover like that.
Here's Las Vegas ready to take the field. They take over already inside the red zone thanks to a... After the fumble, 1st and 10. So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Running straight ahead is Jacobs. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. Screen pass, that's complete. And this carry brought to an end at the 8. Good stick skills, just not much room there. Give him 3 on the screen, he couldn't break 4. It's 3rd down. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the 1st down. Trying to run forward, Jacobs. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Josh Jacobs, an 8-yard touchdown run. And the Raiders take the forced fumble and convert it into 6 points. Well, they were looking to pick up the 1st down on 3rd and short. They got a little more than they bargained for, finding the end zone as well.
And oftentimes in short yardage situations, you get a lot of defenders stacked near the line of scrimmage, partner. So if you can get past that first wave, there's usually room to roam, and he found it.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead will be cut down to 14. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it was capped off by a touchdown run from Josh Jacobs. On as the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. Alvin Kamara and the Saints set to start their next drive. He's had a good performance, moved the ball effectively on the ground. Of course, he has the 1 touchdown.
And when you're able to move it as effectively as you've described, that leads to finding a way into the end zone, and now he's just trying to do it for a second time. And, of course, with that comes additional yardage.
Yeah, looking for additional yardage, and again, that second score here in the third quarter.
It's a pickup of 6. Brings up 2nd and 4. The 29-yard line.
Looking to throw again on second down. Winston. That pass is caught by Hardy. He's been big, 2 touchdowns earlier. Now he's got a first down here. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So back now here live in New Orleans. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. It's the Saints. They'll be looking to expand their lead here. They've got the football as we start the 4th. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
2 yards on the pickup.
They run it again with Kamara. And this will wind up a Saints first down as he's got this up to the 45-yard line. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
This offense on 3rd down today, they've been good. 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Winston. And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds. So a big call there. That brings up 4th. On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. So out come the Raiders. Well, still a long way to go, but trending upward. They scored the last time out, you remember. Then their defense forced the punt. Now they try to inch closer, but still ultimately down 2 scores in the final quarter. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. To throw his Carr. And it's complete to Adams. And they work this well upfield across the 45. And the offense moving quickly to the line. He finds his man complete. That's Jacobs. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
From just shy of midfield, Carr. He hits Adams complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Into the red zone, it's Carr. They'll try and set up the screen, it's complete. And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line. Throwing again on 2nd down. Carr. Carr can beat you in a lot of ways. The scramble there, a perfect example as he gets the first.
He's been patient this entire game, waiting for the perfect moment to surprise him with a quarterback keeper. There he catches him off guard and converts his first rush of the game into a first down. Gotta love that efficiency.
And he gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4. 2nd and goal from inside the 5. Jacobs again. Pushing for the end zone, but he's not going to get there. They stopped him just shy of the goal line. Down 2 yards officially, and now it'll be 3rd and goal.
Sometimes I get caught here permanently, but I think they desperately need to punch this one in. They're running out of time.
Yeah, 2-score game, second half, you're down here. This is the time to put it. And this time he is in. Josh Jacobs with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Raiders have made it a 1-score game again here in the 4th. So the second down run didn't work. They run it again on third down and get in. I wasn't sure if they might pass it, Charles. We know that they like to mix it up down here around the goal line.
Yeah, almost felt like the offensive line said, forget mixing it up. Let's call our favorite running play over our best blockers, and let's get this one in.
Carlson down to add the extra point. And that'll cut the lead down now to a touchdown. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it was capped off by a touchdown run from Josh Jacobs. On as the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. Taken in at the 3. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. Now the Saints, they trot their offense out here. And with that last touchdown, I mean, we're set up for a good finish here. Some things to consider, Charles. Obviously, it's a very close game. You're in the fourth quarter. Defensively, they've got all 3 timeouts in their back pocket.
So the chess match really ramps up, doesn't it? Because in these situations, what do? Do you run the ball and kill the clock here? Or do you try and bury them with another score? And how about defensively? Do you use your timeouts to those opportunities? Or wait till you hit the 2-minute warning? So there's a lot going into this one. Let's see how each side goes about their strategy.
Trying to run down some clock with Kamara. And a good job by the Raider defense yet again as they drop him for a second straight loss. Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. On third down, Winston. And down he goes. Brought down a Raider sack. And now a timeout taken here defensively with 2:07 remaining. So they'll also have the stop coming up at the 2-minute warning. Here comes the Saints punter now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And here comes Abdullah on the return. We've got a 1-score game with inside of 2 minutes remaining. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. A completion, yes, but certainly not what they wanted. A loss of a full 6 yards. Carr. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And this is caught at the 20. It's a big play there for Vegas. 42 yards.
And this is obviously a spot where you lean on your stars. Get the ball to them in open space and let them do what they do.
So a big play as it gets them all the way down to the 20 now for 1st and 10. Now Carr. They swing that out wide to Jacobs. They had the huge play last time. Here it is a much smaller gain of 2.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Throwing his Carr. Same target. It's Jacobs again. And the Raiders are going to have a 1st and goal as the tackle made at the 10-yard line. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds left to go. A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7, but first things first, they need to score as they come up on 1st and goal. Quickly a slant to Renfro. The Raiders try to move quickly, try to get everybody back to the line. On 2nd down, Jacobs. And he'll keep working toward that end zone as he's down to about the 2-yard line. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. Carr to throw. And this ball is caught. It's a touchdown. And now in the final seconds, they're a PAT away from likely getting this thing to overtime.
Yes, sir, that touchdown puts them in striking distance. And let me tell you something, forget being conservative here. Go for it. Go for 2.
Well, going for it on the road. Want to win it right now.
Well, win it right now. Have the momentum. Go ahead and get it done.
Carlson on for the PAT. And we may very well be headed to overtime. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And the touchdown and PAT mean we are tied here in the final minute of play. Set to go now with the kickoff. These two teams all even again as we continue in this wild fourth quarter. This one fielded at the 5. And a nice return sets them up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And Charles, obviously not much time left. I'm curious to see if there's enough for them to get into field goal range and try to win this thing.
And partner, you and I both know the safe calls to kneel and just take it into overtime. But it's also very tough to pass up a chance to win it right now as well. But remember, if you do attempt that, it's got to be a big play downfield and still leave yourself enough time to get your field goal unit out there and kick for the win.
It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Raiders offense ready to go. And everyone knows the OT rules, Charles, but pretty simple formula. They go down and get a field goal, we continue play, but if they can find the end zone on this possession, ball game over.
And as meticulously as all teams plan for a game, I don't doubt for a second on that offense coordinator's play sheet, he's got some overtime plays that he wants to run. I know it sounds crazy, but they plan for everything. 1st and 10 all the way throughout the game, 2nd and 7, whatever. Right now, he's looking at that play sheet saying, if we get to overtime, can we break out the coaching scene?
Calling a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or two short here with 3rd down coming up.
Not a ton of room available on that one, but he made use of what space was available and gained decent yardage.
They can't beat us straight up. Let's rock and roll. Yeah, let's go.
Hoping to keep this OT drive alive. Now they face a 3rd and 2. Now with just 1 second showing on the play clock, we're going to get a timeout. They'll be down to just 1 remaining as we step aside here in overtime. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. On 3rd down, here comes Jacobs. Yeah, this is only going to be a gain of 2. He needed 3. It's 4th and 1. Just looking down at this with a naked eye, looks like they have about 1.5 yards. Any chance they go for it here?
There's a chance, but I have to say, punt the ball here. Get rid of this thing and try and help your defense a little bit. I know there's that temptation, and I know people have it on their play sheet. I have that one play that'll get me what I need, but if you don't get it, you pretty much handed the game to the other team.
A gigantic call there in overtime, but it pays off with a 1st down. At first glance, I wasn't sure he got it. Then I saw that spot. Definitely a 1st down.
It was, but boy, on the other side, you disputed a little bit, wouldn't you? Okay, if you're playing defense, are you sure he got there? But that's why they tell you all the time, don't just get what you need, get a little bit more, and take the decision out of the hands of the officials.
There he needed a yard. He got a yard and maybe an inch. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. Once again, it's Jacobs. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 54 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot. Good push up front and that run in between the tackles.
Let's play the leverage game here. Offensive line just got lower than the defensive front, and they were able to get their pads on them and move them backwards and create space for their running back to roam.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Carr going to give it to Jacobs. And he's going to take this across the 50 and into Saints territory. Tackle there going to Marshawn Lattimore. They've had some success here in overtime in this opening drive running the football. Right back to that well.
And why not? When you have that kind of success, make them stop you. And until they do, keep going back to that well you just spoke about. I think there's more water there available to them.
It's a jet sweep. This is Renfro. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
Just make this one succinct. Nice job there. All the guys on defense diagnosing the jet sweep and putting it down.
2 minutes left in this overtime session and still all time. So a big play in this opening drive of overtime. Now looking at a 3rd and 3. First throw of overtime for Carr. Looking middle, and that's complete. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints 21. Well, they were in search of a short gain on 3rd down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards.
Brandon, that's a huge completion there. That puts them in field goal range, but let's face it. They don't want 3 here. They want 6. With these overtime rules, a touchdown finishes it off.
Yeah, looking to win it right away. Good to know, though, that they have 3 in their back pocket if they need it. Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Jacobs going to try the middle. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. This will be a loss of 3 and now a much tougher 3rd down moment.
Tom is a little bit surprised by what we just saw there because this has been a pretty long drive. And normally you think that wears down a defense. In this case, it looked like the offensive line let him down a little bit.
Yeah, allowed the penetration and the ability to stuff him for a loss. They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. And they're going to get him down shy of the 1st at about the 13-yard line. Now the timeout comes here in the waning seconds of this overtime as we could be set up at long last for a potential game winner. So a big one coming now for Daniel Carlson. This to at least get him a lead here in overtime. The kick by Carlson is good, and they have regained the lead. So they do get the short field goal here to get them the all-important overtime lead. But, Charles, you wonder if they'll wind up ruining the fact that they were able to get down into the red zone, yet not able to find the touchdown that would have won them the game.
Brandon, you're absolutely right. In overtime, when you get the ball first, the hope is your opponents never see the football. But now they're going to get a drive to try and win it, or at least keep the game alive with a field goal. And I'm getting a dictionary out to look up ruin.
And they're going to have really good starting field position here as that's taken up close to the 40. And a fun, close ball game comes to an end. On that last play, Charles, they were on the wrong side of midfield. They needed something near a miracle, and they couldn't get it done.
Yeah, the effort, that was good. Very good, in fact. They were just a little too far out to get a decent look at the end zone for that last opportunity. Couldn't get it done, but a nice game overall.
So for Las Vegas, they've fallen a game under 500 now at 3 up and 4 down. And they'll get test next week as they head to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Meanwhile, for New Orleans, things are kind of getting ugly as they drop to 1-7 now on the year. And they'll be at home for one next week as the Baltimore Ravens come to town.